What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action, spawning in the red color, playing as Poseidon. His name is Nullus. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Oranos. His name is Kvoth. Game number 2, Nullus kicking this one off with a very, very naughty cheese strategy. Kvoth's going to have to shake that one off because that can feel really, really rubbish to be on the receiving end of that sort of a cheese and not being able to beat it. But you got to be resilient. You got to really, really say, okay, put that game behind me. Game number 2, new game, new you, new me. We got Oranos versus Poseidon. This is a comfort matchup for Kvoth in some way, shape, or form. I think a lot of players do consider this one to be slightly Oranos favored, as we do see the balls have been found over here by Nullus. Kvoth is yet to find his own hunt here, but we'll see if he is going to just go for a no hunting dogs opening. It can be worth it, you know, some of the time, depending on what the map is going to show you. We do see a hyena over here as just at this moment. Kvoth has not yet found his hunt. Not really scouting all too well for it, in all honesty, as the Oracle already going down over there to that Katoskopos. But as we said, this is an interesting one. Now, Kvoth is actually, I'll go in on a limb and say Kvoth is actually being quite smart here. He doesn't need to go for hunting dogs here. Why? Because Nullus is going for, obviously he's going to be out of his base really, really early. He's going to have a less than optimal classical age because he has to build this granary outside his base, because he has to build this granary here. And life is going to be a little bit challenging for Nullus in the early game. So a really, really fast advance time from Kvoth with a potential later hunting dogs isn't a bad idea. Like, I've talked about this maybe once before, but the idea of there's no hunt in your main base as Oranos, but there's hunt outside of your base, not going for it, getting the 355, getting the Oracle Rush, getting your Terma spam with hunting dogs coming in while you're advancing to the classical age, that's a good idea. That's a good strategy. It makes a lot of strategic sense. We'll see if Kvoth is going to go that way. One big problem, though, for Kvoth is that this map, there seems to be not very much hunt on it. And this lure here, it takes a total of 1,000 food away from Kvoth here. And guess what? There's roughly 1,000 food on this front here. Now, at the moment, it looks like these boar are also getting taken. So it's not going to be it's not going to be all of the boar getting taken away, but he might lose 2 boar on that position if he's unlucky. As the villagers now moving forward, there's the Prometheus coming in. The villagers moving forward here for Kvoth. He's weighing up whether or not to get that hunting dogs. In honesty, there's only a handful of boar here. This is all of the hunt. No, it's not. There's an elephant on the map somewhere. There's an elephant on the map somewhere. Kvoth has spotted that. He's going to need to scout around, and he needs to decide whether or not to get himself that hunting dogs here, because it's probably worth it with an elephant or 2. Let me take a quick look at the map and see what's going on there. It looks like it's just the 1 elephant and 1 giraffe on the map, randomly positioned there. But Prometheus is coming in. Nullus is going to be hitting a 430 here, and not even with the temple up yet. If more than a 430, he's going to be really, really late at the moment. 445. He might also get himself out the early Theseus as well to try and defend himself, which is a very, very Nullus things to do. He gets the Theseus out. The temple is down. He's got the villagers on the gold. He's got the villagers on the wood. He wants to get a fast second town center here, it seems. He's got double gold mine in his base with a back gold mine over here and a nice elephant on this position as well. Hermes coming through, but Kvoth is already advanced, and Nullus smartly here, he's going to say, no worries, I'm going to pull back into my base. I don't want to play with you. I don't want to play in this situation. We see a counter barracks coming up now for Kvoth. 2 double counter barracks coming down for Kvoth. I like this play because what it does is it plays into the fast second town center of Nullus, and you can always put that military academy down a bit later after you got the boom started, as the Terma are going to start coming over here, start harassing these villagers. Kvoth is trying to juke around here. He's got many different positions here that he can jump onto, but he just needs to take a little bit of damage, get his Terma over here, deal with this Theseus. He's getting way too much damage at the moment. Kvoth not alt-essing his villagers at the moment. As the Terma starts to come through now, villagers will be safe after the damage starts coming in, as we do see the units popping through onto this position now. Nullus going to be pulling away. We do see the Katoska boss coming through. The Valor going to be coming in as well. That was the classical agent for Nullus. He gets himself that center. And the question is, town center is going to be coming up. There is a giraffe over here. He can shoot that one in nice and close to his town center there. As the Terma are going to be moving across the map. The Katoska boss causing some problems over here. As the Terma searching on this position. Not going to be able to find anything there just yet. The Theseus here, got to be careful. He's going to take a lot of damage here. Do we see Hippolyta? Yes, we do. Hippolyta is out. All the villages at the moment here for Nullus are very, very safe. He's very good at this. He's a very, very well-seasoned defensive Greek player. And we do see the Promethean offspring over here. Sees the town center coming up. Kvoth not going to be able to stop that one, but part of him should be realizing that this game isn't going to be won on a second gold mine. It's going to be won on the third gold mine. There's a lot of gold in the main base. Maybe getting a sky passage down the back here would be a good idea, as the villagers are going to start getting targeted down in this position. Villagers are going to be going down. We see some walls coming up on this position. Remember, Nullus's game plan generally in these sorts of matchups is get himself the second town center, get himself watchtowers, get himself pickaxe, get himself hand axe. That's the game plan. And at the moment here, we're seeing Kvoth just pumping Terma out, and he is looking for as much pressure as he possibly can, as this giraffe is going to quickly expire over here. 300 food is going to go very, very quickly. I'm surprised to see him build the granary there, in all honesty. Just get yourself husbandry and then take the walking time on the giraffe there. Makes a lot more sense to me. But anyways, Terma still getting damage done onto this position. Villagers retreating onto the gold mine. Watchtower still not in for Nullus, as the villagers over here getting harassed down. One very low HP villager here to be targeted down. Not going to be able to get that one as the heroes coming in. And Kvoth going to be pulling away. That Hippolyta is so strong. There was this unintended change that kind of came with the Greek hero buffs. And I don't want to complain too much about balance here, but the reason why the Greek heroes are so strong in the classical age right now is because they get 6 track rating, which is more than a normal archer, which means that these speedy units like the Terma, the raiding cavalry, everything is getting hit every single time by that Hippolyta. It's an unintended change, because what the Greek players are complaining about is, how do they kill off the speedy myth units? You don't. So getting that extra track rating helps them where that's concerned, but it also unintentionally helped in that other location with the human units being harassable as well. So we do see a town center coming up on this position. There is a Katoska boss over here causing some problems. Kvoth needs to be paying attention over there. He does turn around, going to get that shanking happening. Nullus not paying attention. He does end up losing that one there, as the citizen going to be returning onto that position. We'll see that third town center, I'm sure, coming down for Kvoth. He has to know that this game is going longer than he might want. Does he have himself a granary or an economic guild just yet? No economic guild, so his economy is hurting here. He really hasn't got that much damage done. The hand axe, pickaxe coming through, the watch out towers coming in. Nullus is in a position that he knows, that he loves, and that he is ready to go with here, as we do see a relic getting picked up. Ring of Nibelung is a big one. There's a relic down the bottom here as well. Odin's Wand, not the best of relics, but a reduction in the temple cost. The Ring of Nibelung, for those of you who do not know, gives you a trickle of gold coming in. It's probably worth about a third of a villager, or maybe a little bit more than that. Probably a third of a villager, roughly, mining gold without any upgrades. As the third town center now coming down for Nullus. Nullus is only just starting to build himself some Hippocon and some hoplites. Nullus hasn't had to use his ceasefire here. He's got all the gold in his base. He's going to start the farm. He's playing really, really defensively. Double military academy coming down. A handful of Hippocon going to be coming out here. We see the economic guild now coming down for Kvoth, as he knows he needs to get that economy coming in. Kvoth is one of the best economic players when it comes to playing Atlantean in the game. And part of the reason why he's so good at it is his attention to getting those upgrades out of the economic guild. As now it's up, he's got the resources to grab it. Lots of goats remaining. He's got this elephant over here to eat as well for a little bit later. Whether you get yourself that hunting dogs at this point, probably not, but it's an option. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to kill off those boars as well, as the army starting to push across the map. The town center here is going up. The army going to be intercepting these units at this point. Sniping down one hoplite here. Is going to have to retreat away. Good micro there. Does lose his Promethean offspring. That's always going to be happening as more Kvoth units pushing in onto this position, as Nullus is trying to push across the map. Hitting this timing on that town center is just not going to be happening here. As the medium hoplites does come through, one hoplite ends up falling there as the term are going to be pulling away from this position as well. There is an opportunity here for Kvoth to get himself some catapulties out to deal with those Hippocon really, really easily. In fact, that is exactly what he's doing, but Kvoth does need to start considering going into the Milo here as well, or trying to just go mass Terma and distract and raid and hit and run and go for the heroic gauge. Old school play, I know, but it's old school for a reason. It used to work. It still works, especially in these sorts of positions here. Plow coming through for Nullus as he's starting the farms up finally. He's got a little bit of goats left, but he's getting those farms down. He's got a lot of villages, 60 villages already. He's in a very, very economic advantage here as the Terma sneaking through, looking for something to pick off, but walls are all placed for Nullus. There's nowhere here for Kvoth to raid, and again, this is what makes Nullus so obscenely good. He is such an insanely good defender in these positions here. As the Terma not paying attention here for Kvoth, he might have to drop a... Okay, never mind. His units are the slipperiest, slimiest of units as we see military barracks coming down. Love this play here from Kvoth. Surround the town center. Play around two things here. One, the weakness of the town center. And two, playing around Earthquake a little bit later. If you can punch bunch a huge amount of buildings, you can keep that town center alive against the Earthquake potentially coming in for you a little bit later. As now we see the military barracks is up. Kvoth will need to start getting himself some farms. Looks like he's eating that elephant over here as well. So he's got a lot of food coming in where that's concerned. He's got himself pickaxe, no hand axe still, as that's really going to be hurting him here. Obviously not in a position that he's 100% comfortable with, but he is pushing up to the next little bit of the next position in this game. But Nullus is getting himself a third town center for free. And not only that, he's got both of these boars on this position, which Kvoth did not take out. And he's going to be able to eat these underneath the town center, which is absolutely gigantic. What is Kvoth's plan going to be here? How does Kvoth find an advantage? He can sneak around the corner here. He can kind of sneak past here. He can get that sky passage down. There is a timing that can be hit on this portion of the map. Walling off over here potentially as well to secure those gold mines, or at the very least getting some buildings placed down on those gold mines to prevent the gold mines sneaking, and just trying to hit that gold mine on the back is going to be the best way to play, because Nullus is playing as safe as he possibly can here. He's mining the entirety of his home gold mines out. He's not going down the bottom here with a wall like a lot of players might try and do. As we do see Kvoth now pushing in onto these villages over here, pushing off of that boar there. Big shockwave coming in. Wants to pick off a handful of villages here. He's going to get one. I'm not sure he's even going to get two. There gets two. 3 villages? No, just 2 villages, but we do see a Terma getting picked off for that trade. As the big problem here for Kvoth is Kvoth going to be able to get to the heroic gauge before Nullus? Because this is always the problem in the Oranos versus Greek matchup. If the Poseidon player can get to the heroic age roughly when the Oranos player gets to the heroic age, life gets really, really tough. As the army pushing across the map here, Nullus's army is ridiculously strong here compared to Kvoth's here as well. Kvoth is looking for raids over here with those Terma. He has made this town center incredibly defensive. It's going to be tough for Nullus to push in there. As we do see the citizen getting harassed, the mana going to be going down. Medium cavalry also coming through for Nullus, as well as the army of Kvoth going to push up to this position. There's no shockwave at the moment for this fight either. Beautiful back gold mine here for Kvoth though as well, as a big wall coming up on this position is going to make life incredibly tough moving forward. Villagers getting spotted over here, but Kvoth, he does spot that one. He will be able to stop the wall coming up onto this position as the fight starting to ensue on this position. He's determined to get a little bit of damage here, and then he's going to have to retreat away. He really can't fight with these Terma, but he will be able to hit that heroic age around about now as another military barracks is coming in. Mermilla were queued up here to defend. He's got a lot of military buildings. Prometheans are producing. Does he have an armory? He's got an armory over here as well. Kvoth not clicked up though just yet, pulling back, trying to allow that town center to help out. One way that you can keep those Terma nice and safe is to garrison them inside the town center, get that bonus damage through. Both these players are clicked up to the heroic age at the same time. This is going to be very, very challenging for Kvoth to make it work at this point. As a Promethean moving forward, Hoplites getting some good damage done. Terma retreating back. Towers trying to help out on this position, but those Terma are so weak to the Hoplites. Not a single Caraballaster coming in at this point, as those Hoplites are doing absolute God's work here, and Nullus is making the case for it. Poseidon does not need to make these cheap Hippocon. Poseidon has that unique bonus of cheaper Hippocon, but you don't need to do it if you've got crazy good Hoplites. You absolutely don't need to do it. Like, Hoplites are just absolutely making they're working amazingly. Kvoth with tons of wood in the bank at the moment. He can drop 3 or maybe even 4 palaces at once as he hits the next age, or he can just get himself a ton of upgrades out. We see the wall up here as well. Nullus is not taking any chances here in this game. 1 palace coming down on this position. Do we see a market up anywhere? Not just yet. No. Palace going to look like it wants to come up on this spot here as the Stymphalian bird is coming through. Do we see the Hesperid's tree coming in onto this position? And the big question is, can Kvoth do something before Nullus is too far in front? You have to remember that Nullus, not only does he have Curse, and he's using that to win this fight in a big way, but he's also got himself Ceasefire here. So even if Kvoth hits some sort of a Mythic Age timing with his Tartarian Gate or something like that, that's not going to be enough, as the Arc is starting to come out and help here. As the Stymphalian Bird's pulling back on this position. There's the Palace up now to try and defend here. There's a lot of arrow fire coming in here with the Palace and the tower here as the Stymphalian Bird's retreating back. Starting to see the Nemean Lion raids coming through. That's difficult to deal with as the army pulling away. Kvoth slowly dropping down on the economy here, slowly dropping down on everything. Remember, Nullus is 80 population in villages. Kvoth is also very, very close to that, or maybe even more population in economy. But his villages aren't gathering as fast there as the Stymphalian Bird's defending nicely. And the army of Nullus does need to pull away. Nullus does fall down very hard there, but he's getting himself carpenters and quarry. Economic upgrades for Kvoth at this point is only hand axe and pickaxe. We see a villager in the corner here ready to put a marker down, ready to start that trade route. I think Kvoth knows he needs to start the trade route, but guess what? Nullus has already started his trade route. He's already getting those units out, those trade caravans out. He knows that it's not important for him to rush the Mythic Age. It's not important for him to win the game right now. He knows that if he just doesn't lose, he basically finds the victory after all is said and done, after the dust settles. As the Stymphalian Birds come over here, push that Nemean Lion away. The army of Kvoth pulling back ever so slightly. Big shockwave onto those Toxotes. Going to be lowering the DPS for a considerable amount of time there as the Arc is targeting down that Hippolyta. This is one of the big disadvantages of playing Poseidon over playing Hades in this matchup, is that Arcus absolutely ruin the ranged hero, which makes those Stymphalian Birds even more precious, even more valuable here. Fortified town centers are coming through for Nullus. Nullus pulling back. Kvoth has got himself fortified town centers already. He's in an advantage at this moment. He needs to get some damage done onto the economy of Nullus to slow him down, because Nullus is slowly ticking up further and further in front of Kvoth. Kvoth getting up the market in the corner now, though. Going to probably start, I imagine he starts the trade route. I feel like you can't, maybe you do go Heroic Age first and then start the trade route, or just build a handful of Llama Caravans. I'm not sure. Kvoth pulls back. He's going to go Mythic Age. He is going through Hecate. Remember, there's still Ceasefire, so Tartarian Gate comes down. Ceasefire comes through. Nullus hits Mythic Age. Nullus gets Colossus. Life gets difficult, or not difficult for Nullus. He deals with that Tartarian Gate very, very easily. Because we do see a cheeky Stymphalian Bird getting cleaned up there by Nullus with that Hippolyta. Great defense over there. But while this is going on, the Stymphalian Birds are getting ridiculous amounts of value on this army. So it's working out nicely for Kvoth to kind of trade that Stymphalian Bird. A little bit of micro there to run across the trees would have gone a very, very long way, though. But Kvoth not managing to make that one work where that's concerned. As a big push now coming through for Kvoth. Can he make his way through here? Do you just drop the Tartarian Gate on the front here? I'm not sure, as we're still seeing this Nemean line getting value. We do see a Mermilla hero coming over to deal with that one there as well. No walls up for Kvoth just yet. He's trying to get as much economy going as he can. How are the actual upgrades looking? No armory upgrades for Kvoth. No armory upgrades, it seems, or pierce upgrades just there for Nullus. Mason's coming through for Kvoth as well to play around potential earthquakes coming his way as the army sneaking into the main base here for Kvoth. He's going to be searching for that temple there. It's in the back here. It looks to me like Kvoth does know this here. Taking down that temple will mean no Colossus as the Arcus is almost taken out, and it does get taken out. He's not going to be able to drop that Tartarian Gate. Do you drop it on the fortress? Probably not, because there's so many militia that pop out of that one as the army moving in, and the Hephaestus comes through. And we do see the Plenty Vault in this corner. What is that Plenty Vault there? We just see the Tartarian Gate now onto the town center as the army sneaking through over onto this position, going to try and take out some villages here. Remember that Colossus is going to be coming through. There is a Lampede somewhere on the map to help out as these units are going to be taking out the villages, taking out the Toxotes, pushing off of this gold mine over here. But already 11, 12 donkey caravans, Flood Control, Forge of Olympus, Champion Infantry coming through. Kvoth is trying to make something happen here with his Tartarian spawns as the Lampede sneaking around. He sees the Colossus in his sights there. He's already right-clicked onto that one as he's going to be pushing in to stop that Colossus from getting value on this position there. Good play there. The Heliopoli are now starting to come out, though, for Nullus. This is getting some big value for Kvoth here, but Kvoth, he's about to start falling behind in armory upgrades as the Polyphemus pops out. Tartarian Gate gets taken out. Ceasefire gets dropped. Now Kvoth has to figure out what he does now because he's forced the ceasefire, but the armory upgrades is going to be probably full bronze here for Kvoth to deal with. Does Kvoth have himself some armory up? He's getting a second armory. Great. He needs to get those up. He still hasn't started much of a trade route. Does he have he doesn't even have one llama caravan yet. Walls coming up over here. Heavy infantry coming through for Kvoth. What's he going to be able to do? Military barracks coming down over here. But remember, Nullus is already going to have a trade route. 20 trade caravans is all he needs. Sky Pass is coming down on the bottom of the map here as the army has spotted this donkey caravan on this position. But guess what? A palace here is going to be really naughty for Kvoth as well. We see a cheeky storehouse on this position as well as there's no buildings on that gold mine for the time being as the unit's going to be pushing through here. Kvoth, does he have any worry about getting pushed out of this game for his own potential problem of a gold mine? I don't think so, but man, this army is scary from Nullus. Look at this. Champion Hoplites, Champion Infantry, Heavy Toxotes, full bronze is 15% away for Nullus, but Kvoth is about to get himself full bronze as well. But the iron upgrades are going to come through very quickly, I'm sure, for Nullus as well. But Kvoth is taking this fight nicely. He's actually winning this fight at this position, which is a bit of a surprise for me. Quarry also coming through for Kvoth. He's starting the llama caravans as well as the army trying to push through here. But Stone Gates is already up for Nullus as the Hippaspis fighting on this position. We see the Dryad coming around, going to try and take those units out as well. As the Palace getting some good damage done on this position. Dryads pushing through. 3 Heliopoli are out. No real good defense against these Heliopoli for Kvoth just yet. The best unit to build to kill off a Heliopolis for Atlantean is the Fire Siphon. Why? 50% crush armor, meaning the Fire Siphon is doing something like, it's doing 55 crush damage a second onto those Heliopolis, meaning half that damage is actually getting dealt, which is more than any unit would actually be doing. Maybe the Catapultis would be doing a similar amount of DPS as the Atlanta. Randomly going to start raiding over here. The only way to deal with Atlanta is build yourself some Contarius out. You have to get a Contarius out to deal with that. As now Nullus is getting himself iron weapons, iron shields, as well as the Stymphalian Bird pulling back. The Polyphemus does get sniped down there. Any attempt at a palace on this position is going to go really well. As now we're starting to see the double walls coming down there for Nullus to ensure that his position is nice and solidified there. We see the raids coming in onto this position, though, as the villagers are going to start shanking. But picking off these villagers isn't important because Nullus is going to continue to get himself trade route. He doesn't need villagers. He just needs trade caravans. How much gold are they getting at the moment? They're getting themselves... Was that only 30 gold? 60 gold? That's not as much as I thought it would be. Maybe a market in this corner would have been a bit better for Nullus. But it doesn't really matter because he's starting to get pushed through. We see some fanatics coming in, but 3 population infantry units to take out a Heliopolis is not pop effective, ladies and gentlemen. The Mamilla were much better where that's concerned, as the Hatyroi started to come in as well for Kvoth. And, sorry, not for Kvoth, for Nullus there, as Kvoth does decide to tap out. This was not a good map for Kvoth in the slides. I think he probably should have used a Vita here as soon as he saw the 2 gold mines with no hunt. I think that was probably his best bet to find a win in this matchup is because this is a good matchup for Oranos. Everyone agrees that, but this was a fantastic map for Nullus. You cannot ask for a better map than this for Nullus. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next game.